everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we've got a ton of feed necks out in front of us today. These are all CP feed necks, so Custom Products, which is a brand, feed necks. They make feed necks for all sorts of guns, so if you're looking for something to replace the feed neck that you already have, or maybe you have a feed neck on your gun that doesn't have a clamp on it, and you have to use an Allen key or something to tighten it down. You want to just get rid of it and have a nice lever on there. This is kind of what you're looking for right here. Now they make a feed neck to fit most guns that are out there on the market. You might have to look around a little bit to find a color that really suits you or something like that, but you should be able to find something that you need from CP when it comes to feed necks. Now they use the same style lever system for all their feed necks. They just have different thread styles for certain guns. And I have a couple different ones out here right now. We'll kind of look at them and go over some of the differences for what you might need for your gun. Because there's certain guns that had different versions of feed necks, but it was the same gun, just different years, if that makes sense. So we'll get there though. So we kind of have a random smattering of colors that are out here. We'll just go over some colors. We've got polished blacks, yellows, greens, silvers, blues, purples, no pinks I don't see out here, some reds, some like clears. This is like a dust white right here, but there are a lot of colors that hopefully will fit into what you're looking for. Let's start over here with this one. This is a cocker feed neck. So this is the old style auto cocker feed neck that has the threading on the outside of the stem on the body. So if you have an old cocker that is outside threaded, or the part where the feed neck attaches to has threads on the outside, then this is the style you need, where the threading is on the inside of the feed neck. And you would just twist this down on top of the body and it would go on there and sit. Now the clamp style, it's so simple. You just open it up and you close it down, and that's going to tighten down on it. Let's say when this is clamped down that your feed neck is, or your loader is still really loose on there. Nice thing about the CP feed necks is you just open up the clamp, you rotate it around once, that tightens the screw a little bit on here, and then you go ahead and reclamp it. So you can find that perfect setting for you without having to have a tool. Now let's say you rotate this all around one whole time and then you go to try to close it and it just won't close. Well, then you could come back that full turn backwards and then take your Allen key and you could turn it in just a little bit. But typically you don't need to do that. You can use this lever, rotate it once, clamp it down, and you're usually good on there. So I use one of these on one of my guns and I love it. Holds up great. Never had any problems with it right there. So this is the cocker style right there. This is an inside thread, so make sure you're looking at it for the right one. Next one over, we've got die feed neck. This is going to fit most all of their markers that had a threaded feed neck style, DM6 and on. This says DM6 to present. Now remember when these were made, when this backing was made for this, they weren't onto the guns that they're at right now. So a lot of their current guns don't thread in; they snap on, like Planet guns and things like that. But again, we'll get there. DM6 to present. Remember when present is PM6, so the Proto Matrix, which don't even make it anymore. PMR SLG says it fits dangerous power guns too. So if you have a DP gun and you want to switch out the feed neck, the die one is for you. Colors right there. Coming over to this one. This is a Ego feed neck. Now, again, this is at the time of making this Ego 7. It says to present. It's not true. I know that these will not fit certain versions of like the LV1 and stuff like that. So there's really no reason that you'd be switching out the feed neck on a current version of that, though. They're fantastic feed necks on the current ones. Older ones, definitely get rid of them. But it says Ego 7 to present, E-Tech 2, E-Tech 3, E-Tech 3 LT, E-Tech 3 AM. So again, the newer Planet guns, you really shouldn't need to change the feed neck on those. This is for older Planet guns. Up here, 2K2 Intimidator. This is, again, has an inside thread. So there are lots of different versions of feed neck for the Intimidator lineup. Depending on which gun you have, you need to find the proper threading. Some are inside thread, some are outside thread. You need to look and seriously find out which one it is. This is an inside thread for the feed neck, outside thread for the body. Just like the autococker body, it's on the outside. Moving over, this is the E-Tech one, so like the Planet, this fits early model Ego, so Ego 5, Ego 6, and E-Tech 1 right there. And again, these are clamp on style. You can see that these have no threads. Maybe I couldn't even show you that. Let's show you that on this one right here. These are non-threaded in any way. You look inside there, there's no thread in there. It just slides over the lip of the feed neck tower and then clamps down on that with the adjustment screw. Moving over here, these are NXT. So if you had a Shocker NXT or any of the Shocker lines after that, this would be the feed neck that fits that. These will not fit on standard Ion I think there's like the EOS or something like that before that, but standard Ions, or not before that, but after that, standard Ions need the standard Ion feed neck. If you have an Ion, or I'm sorry, Shockers and Ions use that style feed neck, the Ion. The NXT is what came after that, and you need NXT feed necks for those specific guns. Now up here, Ion, there's a lot of guns out there that use the Ion compliant feed neck thread. And that's what you're going to find here. There's standard height versions like this. And then they've got low rise versions because low rise is all the rage. A low rise actually has its drawbacks. It's nice to keep your feed neck sitting nice and low, but by reducing the size of the feed neck, you eliminate the ball stack that's inside of there. So if you're not running a super, super fast loader or anything like that, you can run into issues with feed rates because there's just not enough paint stacked up in the feed neck itself. So this is not a high rise, it's just a standard rise feed neck, and then this would be your low rise feed neck right there. So there are all sorts of options when it comes to feed necks everywhere. You can find them all over the place. CP makes fantastic ones in all sorts of colors and all sorts of styles. Make sure you pick the right one for your gun though. Know your threading for your gun. Get it at ansgear.com.